on, y'all? Welcome to another very fun, exciting episode of P4CM Presents The Conversation. I am your host, Yvonne Orji, and today we're going to be talking about relationship idols. It's not like American Idol, but because we're not singing, but like, you know, it's similar. But you know what exactly an idol is and how you can make an idol of your relationship, things like that. So we're just going to jump right into it. A lot of you guys have asked for this specific topic, so make sure y'all leave your comments in the comment section, and if there are any topics that you are burning, not like an STI burning, but like if you're like burning for us to talk about, then like let us know. But relationship idols, like what are, how first of all, how would you even define like idolatry? And like in 2017, like 16, 17, are we even still talking, like can a relationship be an idol? Like what is this?
So I'm like big on definitions. Like I like look up everything.
Okay.
And so the definition of idolatry is the excessive or blind like devotion or adoration of something.
Okay,
and,
Webster.
And so I think idolatry today doesn't look like what it did back then. Like a lot of it is really going to be blind in the sense of we don't even know that we're doing it. But essentially really placing anything or anyone above God. Like that's what it really boils down to.
Right. So like IG can be an idol.
Yeah,
like
most definitely.
Your social media presence.
Celebrities, you know, we going to concerts and we, you know, doing more for them. They ain't paying our bills. They don't even know our name, okay? And we're giving so much to them, but we can idolize celebrities and all the time. It happens so often. I don't think we even realize it until, you know, we're going through something or we're like, why is our life a mess?
So you have a picture of Beyonce next to Jesus? Like, thank you, babe. Thank you, Jay. You know, like all of that. Copy. I can see how that happens. So then, like, how does it happen in relationships? Like, have any of y'all, I mean, you know, shame the devil, had like a relationship that you kind of made an idol?
I think we probably all have to a degree. I think.
I like how you did that. You're like, I think we all.
We all do. Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. No, but I think like to a degree, I think we all will place some type of value that we know that only God can cover for us. So whether it's love, whether it's attention, whether it's whatever it is that we're looking for a man or an idea, like a relationship can be an idea, a concept that we're looking for, and we're putting that, we're focusing on that, we're meditating on that, we're almost worshiping that versus God, then yeah, I definitely can think that a relationship can be.
Give us the definition one more time.
The excessive or blind devotion, adoration of something.
Excessive or blind devotion or adoration.
Yes.
I feel like that should be an R&B song.
Excessive or blind devotion of adoration.
No, am I the only one that feels that?
Yeah, you know, I can totally see that. I can see that in just relationships that I've had. Knowing that I haven't pursued different things in my career, or maybe, you know, classes that I wanted to take, or doing different things like that, and just knowing that, ooh, maybe I want to spend a little bit more time with my guy, you know, going on this vacation or that vacation, or just time in general. You could just be at home when I could have just been, you know, studying or doing something else to pursue my career. So I know for sure there's been times when I've taken things like that.
Because we all have those times. It's like, I don't have time to volunteer. I don't have time to work at church. I don't have time to do any of this. Where you try to go out, oh my God, yes. What time works best for you? Right. Yeah, you make time. Like, and that's the thing, you make time for what's important. So it's like, the minute you're no longer making time for the word, you're no longer making time for, you know, it's like there's a balance that's off.
And I think that's part of why people do relationship idolatry, is just a lack of balance. And sometimes it really doesn't, you know, when we're in new relationships, especially if you haven't been in relationships. I know for me, like I wasn't in a long-term relationship for a really long time. So when I got into it, you naturally want to spend your time with this person and you want to hang out with them, you know, but then it's kind of like, man, like, are they taking me away from what I'm supposed to be doing? You know, should I be reading my Bible more? Should they, you know, should I help them do what they need to be doing, you know?
Well, did you say you had to study for an exam? Right. Oh, that's cool. Let's go to another movie.
Right. So it's kind of like, I think it's natural for it to come, but it's what you do with it after that. You know, do you stay in that habit, or do you say, let me readjust? And especially if you're in the Word and you have a relationship with God, He's gonna check you on that.
Absolutely.
Like, you haven't been spending time with me. Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So are we ignoring that and not doing what we're supposed to do, or are we saying, oh, you know what?
And I can speak to that because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum.
At one point in my life, I was most definitely a serial dater. There was not a time I was not in a relationship. So yes, he will most definitely check you. Like I had to step back personally and take time for me. So I definitely date differently now.
How do you date differently?
It's not so much about being in a relationship, more so about cultivating a friendship and getting to know the other party. Because for me, it was just like, oh, I'm just so accustomed to having someone, just having someone there, you know, that was my thing. So I had to step back, and I was checked because there were different times I would be like, oh no, oh, you don't want to go to church today? Okay, well let's go to brunch. We can go to the movies instead of doing what I know deep down that I was supposed to be doing.
Those people who are like, well, I went to church. Like, I went to church on Sunday, and so the whole rest of the week, like, I can devote to this other person. Because I did my duty. I went to church. Like, you know, I woke up and said, good morning, Jesus, and then, like, I did everything else that I wanted to do. Like,
I talked to him.
I went in first. And, you know, we're all guilty of that. Now I'm trying to be like you. We're all guilty of that.
Share the blame. Share the blame.
Where does relationship idolatry come from? Like, is it? I know we talk about lack of balance, but like, is it misinformation from the church? Is it like pressure from society? Is it like what are some roots?
Bunch of all of that.
Yeah, a bunch of all of that. And I think what came to mind when you were speaking about your story was I think it's kind of a combination of a lack of faith and fear of loss. So in the sense of like when we're in relationship,
faith and fear of loss. Y'all,
that's another song. She got another song.
Fear of loss. A lack of faith. It's a go-go song. DMV, stand up.
So I think, you know, when you're in a relationship and you're so concerned about what you have and not are concerned about the future, where I don't want to let this go because I don't know if I don't trust God enough that nothing else is going to come. So I'll do things, you know, I'll not study or I'll not, you know, go to church because I want to please this person so person so please this person so much because I don't want to lose them. So it's a combination of that fear of loss and lack of faith, you know.
I think it also comes with a little bit of, I don't want to say jealousy, but more like enviousness. I'm making up words probably. But like social media, a lot of people like relationship goals, and then if you're sitting at home by yourself, it's kind of like, I want that too.
Like, I don't want to be alone.
There's no hashtag single girl goals. Can we start the hashtag single girl goals?
That's a really good hashtag.
No, right. I'm gonna do that today until I get a boo. Then it'll be relationship. I don't know these single girls. I don't know these chicks.
For those that are single and are not dating, then it's kind of like an obsession to just, oh, I want that. I wish I had this. And so now you're focusing on, you're in love with the concept of being in love instead of, you know, a particular person, that's kind of all bad. So.
Which could also like that lust feeling
creeping.
Can kind of creep in too, because then that creates that kind of like that idolatry. Like it's like you're idolizing the feeling and the emotion of like, I just want somebody to hold me. I just want somebody to love me. I just want somebody to tell me, put my love on top.
Right.
What about
which could become dangerous in relationships too if you're feeling that way and you end up compromising a lot of, you know, your self needs or also, you know, just kind of your morals and what you want because you just idolize this relationship or being in it. You know, especially with social media.
And I totally wasn't gonna put this plug in, but as you were talking, I was like, oh man, like y'all might know, I'm on a little show called Insecure on HBO, hashtag I am Molly, but not really, like not in real life, like nothing's broken about me, so I don't need your comments. But she plays a character that, like, I play a character that's so thirsty and like idolizes relationships, like so much so that she ruins them because the thirst level is on parched. It's on Jesus be a desert healer. Like, what is happening? But like when you see the mistakes that like, you know, this character makes, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. If you haven't watched it, you're missing half your destiny, that's all I'm saying. But you know, it's like when you see, it's easy to see other people's mistakes, like when you're like it's not, oh, that they do that, but it's like we do a little bit of the most sometimes.
And I think part of it too is when we idolize the relationships and they don't turn out the way that we would like them to turn out and they're not healthy. I think part of it is because it's a lack of understanding, like really understanding the purpose behind the relationship. Like sometimes we just want to be in a relationship, but what is the point of it? You know? And I think when we don't understand or realize the purpose of something, we will inevitably either misuse it or abuse it.
You better. Because that's also the definition of abuse.
Right.
When you don't know the purpose of a thing, I was like, I've heard this before. Oh, church. That's what I've heard. You better know your word. No, but that's so true.
Yeah. And so we get into things and we, you know, we're ready, you know, we think we're ready.
We think we're ready.
You know, and then we get in and we're like, screwing it up.
And a lot of times the relationship, like now more than ever, it's like when you, what Maya Angelou say, when someone tells you who they are, like believe them.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, recently I went out with somebody and, you know, I was like listening to them and they were just like, yeah, you know, because this is, you know, my business plan and this is what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh, you didn't say it, but nothing in your like 5-year plan said relationship. Like, it's like, it would be stupid of me to like continue in this because it's like, it's not a priority for you. And that's cool. But like, there are so many women who be like, I could change that. Yeah. He ain't met me yet. He gonna put me on something that's like, he's never gonna put you on time. I'm sorry. Maybe his heart could change, but like he's not ready. But so many people are so ready to be in a relationship that sometimes they take the reasons why relationships become idols, like they were never supposed to be relationships in the first place.
Yes.
And so you're like trying to force a square peg into a round hole, and you're not even, you playing Sudoku. You're not even
playing the same game.
Like you playing trouble. Like, and now you in trouble.
Right. So. And I think a lot of good friendships are ruined because of that too. Because people jump into relationships, like the first guy or the first girl that comes along, you know, that's attractive, they got quote unquote some things growing for themselves, and it's automatically like, oh, that's my next boyfriend or girlfriend. But like maybe they're not, like maybe they're just a friend, or maybe they're supposed to be your friend's boyfriend or girlfriend. You messing up the whole you're supposed to make the introduction, you messing up the whole thing.
Can we also talk about just how sometimes like the pressure for marriage can cause, you know, this idolizing, fantasizing, because this idolizing and fantasizing, I feel like they're kind of one and the same, but like idolizing and fantasizing a relationship or wanting to be married.
Right. I think the pressure, especially as you get older, the pressure to get married, to have children, even if you're not ready, or even if you don't have that number one in mind, or you know, on the peripheral, I think that pressure can also cause someone to do things out of character. So knowing that a relationship is not good, staying in it, knowing someone's not right for you, but you're still pursuing it because you figure, hey, we here, we might as well try to make this, you know, that kind of thing. So idolizing
the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Wait, what? That's still the devil. They're all devils.
They're both devils.
Why do I want to be involved in this?
Right. And again, like, you know, not trusting God to really give you what you want, or trusting the process, or trusting, you know, the timing. And sometimes we get like, man, I've been in this relationship, I've dedicated, you know, so many months. Like, why do I want to get out and have to start from scratch? Again. Like, that's just annoying. But, you know, if you really want God's best, we pray for God's best all the time.
And then we settle for the worst.
No,
like,
we don't expect it. We don't expect it. We just settle and get comfortable.
That's it.
And even not settling, we don't want to do the work that's required for the work.
Absolutely.
Because it requires work, like real work. And so we say it, but like, are you going to do the work?
Are you going to do the work?
I think for myself, being previously married and now divorced, I'm on the opposite end again. I know I'm personally not ready for the work, because I think in my previous relationship, we weren't ready for the work. So a lot of times people do idolize these relationships, not knowing that it's really, really, really hard work. It's not every day. It's not always about the love, because at the end of the day, you're gonna love the person, but are you loving them enough to work for it? Because it's hard work.
So are you still not ready to do the work?
No.
But you're going on the dates? So then what? Can you
not
have
so
the
much.
dates
Not
without
so
the work?
much. I'm going on the dates to cultivate friendships. I prefer to be your friend first and foremost. We'll see if we can be friends enough for me to want to work on anything further.
Do I like you enough
to do this work?
But these free meals though?
You on that boat alone.
You going on that booty call.
No.
Beware.
See, you and Monique are trying to do the inclusion of everyone in these people.
That's not really about spread the love. So you weren't hungry on Friday? So you just,
I'm always hungry.
She was like, of course would never date Trevante. But we went to Clam Jumper and it was popping.
I haven't been to that restaurant in
Okay.
years.
Are they still open?
Right. You brought it back in.
Right. And full circle.
We were talking about trust and faith, and I remember a minister friend of mine told me, she was like, if it's God, it doesn't spoil. And that just essentially means like, if it's supposed to be, it will be. It will find its way back to you. So don't be so ready to hold on to something that may or may not be for you.
Right.
And that just reminded me of the song by DMX when he was like, if you love something, let it go. It's come back to you. It's yours. If it doesn't, it never. I don't care if you don't like my DMX impression. I had all 3 albums. I know he had 5 of them, but I stopped at 3. Because it went a little crazy afterwards. But, I mean, he was always speaking life. Like, I feel like that was such a, I mean, he wasn't the one who originated that, but like he said it better than anyone I've ever heard it. Because he had that Bohemian Rhapsody. If you love them, let it go. You gonna let me go, get rid of it. It's just like, and sometimes you have to either let it go.
Yeah.
Or give you death.
Yeah.
I don't know about the death one. I actually don't know what he was talking about. But you might have to let a relationship go, and if it's yours, it'll come back to you like a boomerang. If not, keep it moving.
Yeah.
I think really too, understanding the heart of God, like really trusting the heart of God. Like he's never gonna give us something that's not good for us.
That's true.
So when we're holding on to things, like obviously if he's telling you to let it go, that means that he has something so much better for you. And so I think really understanding who God is and trusting his heart for us. You know, like he doesn't want us to not be happy or to not want what we want. Like he put the desires in us.
Yeah.
So really, you know, taking that for what it is.
There was Kevin Hart talked about how like one day he asked his mom for help, and you know she was like, baby, have you read your Bible? And he was like, I'm really not actually here for this right now. Like I need your help to pay this rent.
Yeah.
And she every day she kept asking like, have you read your Bible? Have you read your Bible? And he was like, so you're not gonna help me? Is that what it like? Just tell me you're not gonna help me. And then like months later, he opened the Bible and she had put like 12 months worth of rent in the Bible.
Wow.
And it was just like, and sometimes that's kind of what we do with relationships and with that whole trust factor where God is like, but God, like, you're not answering my question. Like, I want him. Like, why wouldn't he want me back? Like, I love him. Like, why can't we get engaged? Like, and it's God's like, you want to pray? Like, you want to talk to me? Like, you want me to answer? Okay, what if I told you to like not be with him or her anymore? What if I told you I got something better? And it's just like, I don't want something better. I want him to be my better. Like, just do better, Kanye. You know, and so, but then it's just like, well, if you came to me, you would see that I actually, if you opened your Bible, you would see that I actually have better for you.
And sometimes he will give you over to the desires of your, if your desire is not him. You know, he'll let you have it, and then he'll let you see for yourself.
But that's why he says, I present before you blessings and cursings, life and death. It's a multiple choice answer. By the way, I got the answer. Choose life.
To speak on what she was talking about a little bit, just I could remember just being in that space of knowing that the right thing is to let go right now, but just, you know, a lot of fears coming up, and knowing that God's speaking to you, and then like, is God really speaking to me? But why would he bring this person into my life? Why is he still here? But I think God continues to speak to you, and you know, you also have to grow through things, and it'll keep on reoccurring into your life until you do grow and move past those things.
That's with everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, so yeah, definitely like just being in a relationship and knowing that there's something tugging you towards a different path. It's just that consistent tug that this is not right. It is time. It is time. And then it'll just get to a point where you don't have a choice. And you, of course, you want to avoid the time where you don't have a choice because things continue to escalate. And I think, you know, when you keep on learning and can mature before that point, that's when you can really start knowing that God does have your back. Not that you didn't know that before, but it's a personal experience. It's an experience with God. And you can just continue to lighten other people around you. So
as you were talking, I was thinking about like the story of the fig tree, how like the master came home one day and he was like, man, this fig tree has let me down the last 3 years. Go ahead and cut it down. And the worker was like, hold on. Let me like till around it. Let me work it. Give me a year, and I guarantee you this joint's gonna go, you know, like bear fruit. And I thought about it, and I was just like, so what happened differently in that year? Like, was the worker slipping and like not on his job, and so suddenly he was like, or did something new happen, or was it just the right timing, or did favor happen? Like, so it's like a lot of things too. It's timing.
Yeah.
It's seasonal. It's like this dude might actually be the one for you, but like this season of your life is not the time to make him numero uno, or because like either something needs to be done with you or something needs to be done with him. But and you could hear us because sometimes you were like, I know God told me he don't lie. Like I got dreams and everything. I'm like Joseph out in this joint, and that's cool. You can have your dreams, but did God say he's the one?
Not now.
December 19, 2000. Like did he give you a specific date? Like because he could be or she could be the one, but there's still work and tilling to be done. So there's work individually before there's even work together.
Yeah.
And I think that is so huge. When you said like the December 19th, he's like, I will never forget.
You got a date?
Well,
You got a date? What's his name?
I had a date. And so this, in terms of dates, like I had this goal of being married by 25. Like I said, by 25, I want to be married.
Really?
He was one of them?
I'm 26 and I'm not married,
Wow.
And so, but
I'm going to leave now. 'Cause I'm not in my 20s. But
I'm not.
And so I had, but one too, like I'm young, like I don't really know what's involved in marriage, and I just want this, be married young. It sounds so good, and it looks so good. So I wanted to be married by 25, and I'm not. But I had to really, when I crossed 25, like really be okay with like it's okay. Like you're still young, you're still growing and developing, and not trying to force a puzzle piece in a slot that does not fit, and so really being okay with the timing. I think timing is huge, and always understand that time, when things don't happen, doesn't necessarily always mean no. It just might mean not right now. So that's huge.
And you know what? I don't think I gave God like a specific day or time, but I definitely didn't think that I was sitting here in my hashtag single girl goals. But when I was 18, I definitely was like, God, I'm gonna live for you. Yeah, of course. I'm gonna stay saved. What? No sex, no marriage. Copy. 33. I just wish you would have like let me know earlier. This is what I was signing up for. But no, but you're absolutely right in that like no matter how long it takes, it's almost. Well, I can't say like I always forget that I'm a virgin. I do sometimes because it's not like the first thing in my mind.
Right.
Because if it was, then that would in and of itself would be an idol.
Yeah.
Right.
But like it's like, but you know what though? When it happens, it's got to be a vibe. I waited all this time. Like, whoever he is, like, I'm almost kind of like ignited in the way. But you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, but it's like that there's that piece of that season of that timing, like, it's gonna be good. And it's like, 10 years ago, who wouldn't have wanted? Like, of course I would have wanted. Well, actually, I wouldn't have. I don't. God bless you for wanting me married at 25. I was too savage. I was like, 25. You know what I can do by myself? Everything. Like,
No, I wasn't selfish at 25. I was married at 25, but I definitely think the both of us had some growing to do, especially individually. We were kind of young for that, so. I think it's great that you're still growing and learning because marrying young.
There are people who marry young,
and they do great.
If you're married at 21,
yes.
God bless you.
Right, but I'm just also it's not like a rush thing. Because it is really
because
work.
at any age it's gonna be
it's still work regardless.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
25, 35, 45, 50,
And also
work.
like for me, like I know if I had a relationship or if I had to do like everything in hindsight, right? If I had to do, I wouldn't be where I am like as far as like career-wise because this was important for me. And I had to be not focused on anybody else. Because when you're married, your focus is on God
You
and
do
your
put things
spouse.
on the back burner.
You put a lot of things on the back burner. And so like now I'm just like, thank you for taking one for the team. Like I'm glad because I would have been real hurt if what's the other girl that who worked for her man? What was the last? The one
Priscilla.
Priscilla. I would have been mad if I was called to be Priscilla. I'm like, but I don't want to do his business. I want to do my thing. I got that shout at me. I'm like, I would have been really upset. Missing this moment because you're like you were so thirsty for this other thing. Then like the stuff that God had purpose and plan for you gets derailed.
And it's so funny because now that I look at it and like think about where I am now, if I would have been married at 25, I would not have been ready.
It was preparation.
I know.
If I would have been
like last year.
But I'm still impressed
mode. You know, I'm still in preparation for it.
I love you so much. You are so beautiful. Because if I was married 2 weeks ago, like I don't even know how my life would turn.
But and I think I love, you know, you and even my older sister, you know, she's in her 40s and she's still not married. And so she's still has made the commitment, you know, to not have sex before marriage. But I think there are women like you and my sister who are necessary because there are other women who are going through the same thing and they need examples to say, man, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I think that it's been an example for me.
Coming from a marriage to, you know, sex is a huge thing. To go from having and then not, it's huge. You know, you haven't experienced it, but, you know.
I've heard tales. I've heard about this. It's serious fruit.
That has definitely been one of my struggles. You know?
But stay strong in it because it's like we gotta wrap it up. But I know like at some point you were like, well, you don't know because you ain't had it. Like that don't mean easy.
Right. You act like I never have urges. I never, you know, have.
It's almost worse because like you actually know like what's good and what's bad. I'm just like it's all good, and I want to know. It's like I haven't had the disappointment. So like, I want this thing. I don't know what we're talking about now. I feel like this is just our mics got left on and the camera kept rolling, so this is bonus P4CM. The conversation uncut. I'm like, you know what, God, thank you so much. We have so much fun here on The Conversation. I hope you're having as much fun watching us as we are just being with one another and encouraging you through our successes and our struggles. I mean, leave your comments in there. We're in this together. I know we laugh about a lot of things. And, you know, sometimes laughter helps you get through some pain. And you may be feeling some real pain, but that's what this whole channel is about. That's what this whole series is about, so that, you know, we can hear from you and you can hear from us. And, you know, hopefully something inspires you or encourages you to just fight the good fight of faith, man. That's what it's all about, really. But thank you so much for giving us some of your time. Thank you so much for subscribing to the P4CM channel. If you haven't, that was your cue to go ahead and subscribe. You can find me at Yvonne Orji, YVONNEORJI. Get your mind out the gutter. Until next time, have a good one. Bye. So, I'm just saying. Yeah.